I spent 5 years with severe bloating on a daily basis and really bad digestive issues, to the point that I couldn't do a normal social life because I couldn't go out with my friends to eat at a restaurant because my bloating wouldn't let me enjoy the night. I didn't know what was wrong with me until I realized what my problem was, and I got healed really fast. Went from being miserable and not being able to go out, just do normal life, to really be able to enjoy every single food that I want to. If you feel like you're so tired of this bloating, stick to this video because I am about to ease your mind on this topic and get your bloating relieved. Before we move on to the video, I want to say that I'm not a doctor. I have not studied medicine. I have not studied the gut itself. I just wanted to tell you my experience and how I healed my bloating and how I healed my digestive issues from my point of view and from my experience. And I just wanted to share it in case that it helps someone. First, you should always go to the doctor before you take advice from anyone else. Before we move on what specifically healed my bloating and all of my digestive issues, I want to tell you guys my story because I think it's really important for your healing that you understand what I went through, and maybe you resonate with my story and you realize that you have the same problem that I had. So basically, around high school, I got really bad bloating. I was finishing high school, about to go into university, and yeah, I was bloated. They told me that probably milk was one of my problems. You know, I couldn't just digest it very easily, so I stopped drinking it. Okay, I was better, but the problem was kind of still there. And then after quarantine, I started to get really bad bloating. Everything would just cause me bloating. Every food that I ate would actually make me feel sick in my stomach. And then from that point, I spent probably like 3 years being on severe bloating every single day. It was exhausting. And you know, all of my friends would just know me as a girl who always got bloated, who couldn't eat anything, who just ate like rice and chicken in case that she would get bloated. You know, I couldn't go out and eat a burger with them because I would get like not only bloating, but severe pain in my stomach. And so the problem will start to get worse after quarantine in those years. So yeah, I started to go to some doctors. I started to go to the digestive doctors. I don't know if that's what's called in English, but basically, they told me that I needed to run some tests. This took a lot of time. By the way, I run tests like lactose intolerance, gluten intolerance, also small intestine bacterial overgrowth, also the pylori bacteria. I don't know if it's called like that. So I ran all of those tests. The first thing that happened to me is that the doctor told me that I was lactose intolerant. And for a year, I just ate things without lactose, and that was like the diet that I was having. But still, I had severe bloating. I had like really bad stomach pain and all of these things. And the next thing that I did was to come back and tell the doctor that this was not working. I just felt like that doctor was not really good for me. Like it just didn't give me any confidence. You know, I just didn't trust the doctor. So I changed to another one. And that one told me that I was not lactose intolerant. And I was like, what? Like, I just spent a year without eating lactose. Like I just would go on a trip. I went to friends and I remember I wouldn't eat croissant because they had batter in it, which contains lactose. I was just completely mad at them. And so I ran other tests, and she told me that I had SIBO. SIBO, I don't know if you call it that way, like small intestine bacterial overgrowth. She told me I had that and that I had to take some pills for 3 months and make a very severe diet for an entire month, which consisted of no gluten, no lactose, not any fructose as well, and just other stuff. So I just could eat like lettuce, rice, and chicken. That's it. After that, I got worse. If you believe it. It's crazy, but it got worse. Like my pain started to get worse. My bloating started to actually get worse. I just was bloated every single day. And I just said, okay, what is going on? I went back to the doctor again. I just changed the doctor one more time. And she told me that actually those results were negative, that I didn't have that small intestine bacterial overgrowth. I was just so mad, and I realized, okay, what is going on? And she told me, you can take this antibiotics in case that you have X. And I was like, what? I'm not taking antibiotics that are really bad for your gut bacteria if I really don't have something. And I decided that I just gave up and I was not gonna listen to any of this doctor. I tried for myself a lot of different diets, eliminatory diets, really severe inflammatory diets, a lot of different diets. I even thought about trying carnivore diet. I didn't do it at the end because it was so expensive, but those are the things that I tried. So the different diagnoses that the doctor gave me were very different, and they didn't have any coherence between all of these doctors. So they all told me that I had one thing, but then the other doctor told me that I had another thing. So I just really stopped believing in the healthcare system, and they would never ask me actually things about my life. They wouldn't ask me what I ate, how my lifestyle was, if I was exercising, if I was stressed. This can sound crazy, but it's something that I think that doctors should really consider before just giving the patients any type of pills. Lifestyle choices actually have really bad consequences of your health, and especially in your gut, and especially in girls, and I'm about to show you why. The thing is, one day I decided to go to a different doctor. I had an appointment like 3 months ago, and I just was about to not go to that doctor and give up, but I decided to do it. And I went and I explained to him, I have severe bloating. I also had really bad lower back pain. I also had really huge hormonal imbalances. And he told me, girl, your problem is that your nervous system is not regulated. And I was like, excuse me, what does that mean? So he told me that basically the response that my body had over stress and anxiety in my life was truly making me feel sick and make me somatize all of those symptoms physically, which just seemed crazy. The thing is that my boyfriend and my mom were saying this to me for years, but I wouldn't listen because I was so obsessed on the idea that I had something, some kind of illness, some physical thing. And he told me, you need to read this book, that it was about back pain. I read it, and in a week, the back pain disappeared. And I was with that back pain for a year and a half probably. And so in that book, basically it explains how your body and the stress that you have in your life, even though it's not really huge anxiety, but the anxiety that you feel on a daily basis can truly make your body sick, can make you feel physical symptoms that apparently are not real, but it's a response on your body to that stress, to that anxiety. This made me understand that my problem was not that I just got injured by, exercising, and so I injured my lower back pain, or that I have a bacteria in my gut and I'm feeling this bloating. I thought, if this is not it, it's probably because I just have some stress problem. I have some problem in terms of how I respond to stress and how I just live my life, the lifestyle choices that I'm making. That book really healed my lower back pain, but it also healed in some way how my bloating was. And I'm going to explain you why. Listen, there is a very strong mind to gut connection. And I want you to understand this, girls, because this changed my life. I went from being miserable and not being able to go out, to exercise, to just do normal life, to really be able to enjoy every single food that I want to. Nowadays, I just enjoy everything. Yeah, sometimes I get bloated, but it doesn't barely happen. It's just really rare for me to be bloated right now. And I'm so grateful for that. I cannot explain to you how grateful I am, because I suffered so incredibly much that it's crazy for me to be this way. The thing is that there's a strong mind to gut connection. And when your mind has stress, when your mind has emotions that it cannot really process, that it's not able to just calm itself when it comes to stress, when it comes to sadness, even, depression, when your mind has problems with anxiety, it just goes directly to your gut. It's it sends signals to your gut. And I'm not inventing this. I'm not just making this up. I have actually researched this for so long because I came to the realization that was what was wrong with me. And the thing is that in the times of my life that I was the most worried, I had the worst bloating and the worst digestive issues. I would get so much pain. And whenever I am stressed right now, I really get bloating and by digestive symptoms as well. Because when you are under such huge stress and anxiety, your mind feels like there is a danger, a physical danger around you. So it just starts to live in this survival mode. You're just no longer living, but you're surviving. At least that's what your body interprets based on your stress and your anxiety. So whenever you are that stressed and that anxious for a long period of time, your body stops making the digestion the way it should. It also stops regulating your hormones. That's why also a lot of people feel like their libido is just gone, because when you are under such stress, your body just focuses on surviving. So all the things that your body really needs to focus on, like digestion, balancing the hormones, actually getting sex drive, it stops doing them because it feels like it's more important to protect you from that danger, that it just focuses on that. It just focuses on just giving your body the adrenaline to be able to stop that danger, even though that danger is not real. That's what happened in my case. And especially for girls, I think that one of our main problems is overthinking. And don't come at me. I say girls because I think that we just get to worry about things much easier than guys do. I have experienced this, and I have talked with so many friends of mine, some girlfriends that are going through really severe bloating, digestive issues, and overthinking much more than boys. And I think this is real because we just tend to be more emotional and we just tend to worry a little bit more. And I think especially nowadays, we girls are so worried about our future. We are constantly worried about, will I go into university? Will I get this grade? Will I get this job? Will I meet the guy of my dreams? Will my life will be the way that I dream it of being? Will something bad happen? And we're constantly overthinking. And the fact is that when I got my bloating and my severe digestive issues, I was overthinking about my life. But the moment that I got those digestive problems, I was also overthinking about those digestive problems, which really added more gas to the fire, and it made the problem much bigger. So this is one thing that I wish that someone told me, or maybe better said, I wish that I listened to the people that were saying this to me, like my boyfriend, that whenever you have bloating and severe digestive issues, don't overthink about those, okay? Don't just worry too much about them. It's okay. You have bloating, you have severe digestive issues. It's fine. Really, trust me. It's only temporary. You're gonna figure a way out of this. So the sooner that you understand that you don't have to overthink about life and about your digestive issues, the sooner that they will disappear. So listen to me on this, because this really changed the game for me. This really stopped my 5-year bloating, and it was to stop overthinking about those problems. It was to stop overthinking that I had a physical problem that was causing those bloating and it was causing those digestive issues. And I say it again, I'm not a doctor. I have not studied medicine. I have not studied the gut. But here's what you're gonna do. We're gonna develop an action plan for you to be able to heal from that bloating and from that digestive issues. The first thing that you always need to do is to go to a doctor. Make sure that, they just rule out any illness or any physical thing that you could have in your body, any bacteria or anything. Because yes, it is possible that you have something. For me, it wasn't the case. Even though the doctors told me that I had it, then it turned out I just didn't. So just please make sure that you don't have any type of illness or anything. That's always the first thing that you need to do. The second thing is that you please look for a doctor that you can trust. Listen, I think that we just listen to the advice of a lot of people that are not healthy, that what they have studied, it's just not upgraded in any sense. They just studied a lot of years ago and they're not upgrading it. And a lot of doctors are just giving you treatments without really looking at your lifestyle, at your background, at your stress levels, at your hormone levels, at a lot of things. So before you really trust a pill or a treatment, and again, I'm not a doctor, but it's just my personal advice based on my experience, please make sure that you trust that doctor. Please make sure that they have asked you about your lifestyle choices, about your stress levels, and about other things that could be related to your bloating. And the third thing that you're gonna do, based on what I told you, is to please understand that there's nothing wrong with you. that there is nothing wrong with you being bloated, with you having digestive issues. And again, the sooner that you realize this, the sooner that these problems will just go away, because this is not something severe. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna figure it out. You're gonna just get the help that you need. You're gonna get through this, and it's just something temporary. So once we have understood this, and if you have ruled out any illness, when you have a really 100% accurate diagnosis that tells you that you don't have anything, please stop going to doctors. And I'm telling you this in case that you don't have anything. You need to understand that you need to just stop going to doctors every single week. I just was going to the doctor probably like 2 times a week. I was like so obsessed with finding what was wrong with me that I just was adding more stress to that problem, and therefore I was being more bloated. So my advice is that in case that you rule out any illness, you just stop obsessing over the fact that you need to get an instant solution, that you need to just go to as many doctors that you can. And the fourth thing is that in case that you have ruled out any illness, that you know that there's nothing wrong with you medically speaking, you need to understand that it probably comes from anxiety. Yes, the mind-gut connection that we talked about earlier is so important, and it's one of the main reasons why a lot of girls nowadays and a lot of people in general are getting severe bloating and digestive issues. It's the main reason why a lot of people have like gut problems and their gut bacteria, it's not regulated, because stress is really bad for your body. So understand that maybe it comes from that. Just try to analyze in your life if there was a moment of stress that really triggered the bloating, or that really triggered those digestive issues, and maybe from that point on you started to get those problems. Or maybe try to analyze if in times that you're more relaxed you just feel like your digestion is much better, or try to also analyze if your bloating is not that severe, but maybe at one point, I don't know, you have to pass an exam or you just have an important event, you just get nervous and your bloating starts to appear. Maybe if those things happen, it's because your bloating comes from anxiety. The point number 5 is that you understand that this probably will be a long ride. As I said, I spent 5 years with bloating and digestive issues almost on a daily basis, and I was so obsessed about just healing myself instantly that I just made it worse. So the sooner that you realize that it's okay, that it's probably gonna take months or years, the sooner that you will heal. I know this sounds hard to hear, and I know this sounds kind of nonsense, but it is. It makes a lot of sense. Just trust me, because I've lived it. And the point number 6 is really important, because I want to say that everybody is different. We're not the same. You know, every single person has our own characteristics and our own response to certain foods, to certain treatments. And yes, there are general rules that can apply to every single person, but there are exceptions that just may work for me and not for you. And the thing is, I used to do elimination diets and they didn't work for a time, but when I healed my bloating and my digestive issues, I started to notice which foods actually make me feel like heavier in my stomach or just make me feel bloated sometimes. And the moment that I analyzed these foods, also I got, better digestion. So the thing is that everybody has a different response to a different type of foods. So once you're healed, or maybe in the process of being healed, make sure that you try to identify which foods actually make you feel heavier in your stomach, which other makes you feel like you have a little bit better of a digestion. And you also can try elimination diets. For instance, something really good that you can do, if you feel like you don't know what specific food is actually making you feel bad, you can try a very basic diet, which is like basically eating like meat and fruit. You can eat those and make your body like some kind of reset, and slowly start incorporating other type of foods. Maybe you can start incorporating grains, some kind of vegetables and legumes, and you slowly start incorporating all of those foods that apparently are a little bit heavier to your body, and identify which things make you feel worse. And if those make you feel worse, you eliminate them from your diet. So if you have made it to this point, I hope that you find a little bit more of hope in terms of healing your gut and healing your bloating. I hope that this video was really helpful to you, that you found peace and that you found hope, and that you are on your way to healing, because trust me, it's temporary. You will get there. If you have any type of question, please let me know, because I will be so happy to help you. any question about food, about my journey, about anything related to this topic, please let me know in the comments, and make sure that you subscribe to this channel and that you like this video. And thank you so incredibly much for being here. Honestly, if I have been able to help just one person, I'm just so incredibly happy, and making this video and editing was so worth it. And if at some point you're healed from your bloating and your digestive issues, please let me know in the comments, because I will be so happy to hear also your testimony about this. So again, thank you so much for being here, and I wish you the best luck on your healing journey, and I'll see you in the next one.